Mobile television production facilities for this broadcast are made possible by a grant from Walmart. Walmart, with their location on the White Horse Pike in Somerdale. You're watching Sterling High School Channel 19, serving Hynella, Laurel Springs, Magnolia, Somerdale, and Stratford.
For the first time since 1971, Sterling is South Jersey champ.
Went on to become the New Jersey Tournament of Champions winner. South Jersey's never won it before. So the Sterling Lady Knights and that string saying South Jersey is well represented now.
Sterling is going to the championship game.
Looks like he's fouled there. Put on a desperation shot, and there he goes. It's good! It's good! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sterling Channel 19 for a rivalry matchup here on a Friday night. I'm Jake Clark, joined by Dan Leakan and Ben Nicholas. We have the Sterling Silver Knights taking on the Haddonfield Bulldogs. The Knights 4-2 on the year. The Bulldogs a perfect 8-0 to this point. Head coach Paul Wiedemann for the Bulldogs got to be happy about that in his 25th season coaching for Haddonfield. And on the other side, it's Coach Justin Behringer for the Knights, along with assistant coaches Jason Shivers, CJ Barrett, and Kylie O'Donnell. And there's nothing better than this, guys. Friday night on the road, Sterling has a chance to play spoiler in what has been a tremendous Haddonfield season to this point.
And I can tell you, man, this Sterling team has a lot of heart. They're coming into this game. They're feeling like huge underdogs, and to be honest, they are. But this team is tight. This team has a ton of chemistry. They think that they can win this game. The fans popped out tonight. We got the King B poster over to the left here, and I'm super excited for this matchup with Jake and Ben tonight, this Friday night. It's beautiful.
And a couple things to note for Sterling. Number one is Zion Arnett, the junior, who's the second leading points per game scorer, will be out with an illness tonight, so that's a big loss for the Knights. And on the other side, looking at the Bulldogs leading points per game scorer, number 10, Sam Narducci, at 18.3 points a game, is a little bit questionable for tonight. It sounded like when we were talking with a couple coaches before the game, he's going to be good to go. Not entirely sure if he'll be in the starting lineup, but we'll have to see when tip-off comes along.
And let me tell you something, guys. This matchup means so much to the Sterling loyal, all right? So many people came out. They rode to Paco. They drove over here. They paid to get in, and they want to see these Knights go up against their longtime divisional rival, Haddonfield, and win.
So again, looks like we have about 5 minutes till tip-off.
And, maybe it's time to highlight and the same starting four as follows: Julian Johnson, Jason Camardo, Travis Schmidt, and Walter Garrison.
Yeah, and Borshdan had a good last game against Haddon Township, where the Knights won that one 55-44. Borsch put up 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists, also knocking one down from the corner from beyond the arc. So Borsch has a talent where he's a 3-level scorer. He's a big body, standing at 6'4", only as a sophomore, as you take a look at him warming up from beyond the arc there.
And, Borsch is very interesting, and as you said earlier, he is a 3-level scorer. But with him now being added into the starting lineup, this is going to give Walter Garrison a little bit more room to step away from his big man role and come into his role as a full-time scorer all around the court.
I have nothing but compliments for Josh Borsch. He is a sophomore coming in, and he is playing very well. He is using fundamental moves as a big man, using his body to maneuver around the paint. He's got a pretty good shot on him, as you can see. He just made that basket there. He is a very good player for this team to fall back on when they need someone, when someone like Arnett is out.
Yeah, absolutely. Good option coming off the bench. The bench a little thin tonight again with the Zion Arnett being out. And when we talked to Travis Schmidt pregame, he said he talked to Joshua Borsch and kind of took him under his wing and said, This game means a lot to us upperclassmen. This is your first time being on the road at the varsity level going against Haddonfield. And he almost said it's a different animal. And right now you just got to come out, compete, play your best, and try and play free and not let the nerves get too much to you. So Travis Schmid doing a bit of upperclassman work, taking Joshua Borsch under his wing. We're going to take a quick break with 3 minutes left on the clock. We'll be right back right before the first tip after this.
Travis Schmid, forward, Laurel Springs, New Jersey.
Zion Arnett, guard, Somerdale, New Jersey.
Julian Johnson, guard, Somerdale, New Jersey.
Joshua Borsch, forward, Magnolia, New Jersey.
Brandon Allison, guard, Laurel Springs, New Jersey.
Walt Garrison, wing, Woodbury.
Isaiah Berthea, guard, Stratford.
Jace Camarda, guard, Stratford. Isaiah Benjamin, point guard, Magnolia.
Casey Kozaneski, big guard, Stratford. Marquise Holloway, forward, Magnolia. Justice Gamble, guard, Stratford, New Jersey.
And so we are back ready for some Friday night basketball between the Sterling Silver Knights and the Haddonfield Bulldogs. If you're just tuning in, I'm Jake Clark, joined by Dan Leakan and Ben Nicholas on the call tonight at Haddonfield.
And let me just talk about something that we weren't talking about before. The energy in this place is electric.
Between both sides, with the Haddonfield Rowdy Gang further from us and our Sterling superfans. Right here at the front, you see Josh Borsch, again, his first career varsity start as a sophomore, with the Zion Arnett being down with an illness.
And I can't wait. I mean, we were talking about him pregame, talk about him again. We're going to say his name 1,000 times throughout this entire broadcast. I'm really excited to watch this kid play. He seems super confident. He has a great personality that he brings to the team, and I'm super excited to see what he does today.
Julian Johnson had a phenomenal game against Haddon Township with 17 points, 9 of those coming in the first quarter, all from beyond the arc. When he gets going, Dan, he's electric.
And it could prove that this Sterling Knights team, as we see Walter Garrison walk out here, the Sterling Knights team can have a second scorer, Julian Johnson, and he brings an electrifying spark to this team.
Well, and that's going to be big tonight, especially missing a Zion Arnett, who statistically is the second best scorer on this team. He's out with an illness, and now you're having a sophomore in the starting lineup. First ever start. Going to be a little nervous in a rivalry game like this. And Josh Borsch, if Julian Johnson, Travis Schmid, and Jason Camardo can step up and collectively score the basketball along with Walter Garrison, we could see the Knights doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, and they have belief in themselves. Their coach has belief in them. But this Haddonfield team is very tough, as we're seeing Nate Rolfing come onto the court here. He is a specimen. He comes in at 6'8". He can dominate the rim, but if Sterling can get a little physical with him, it'll be tough for him to get these boards and get these shots.
Yes, 6'8" center that averages 12.8 points on the year and 8.5 rebounds. He's going to be a threat down in the low block, and Sterling is going to have to find somebody to have an answer for him. When we were talking with some of the players and coaches pregame, it sounds like Travis Schmid is going to be matched up against Rolfing. So we'll have to see how number 2 for the Knights fares with Nate Rolfing down in the low post.
And let me tell you something, that's going to be a physical matchup between Travis Schmid and Nate Rolfing. Travis is a dog. Not a bulldog, he's a Knight, but he's a dog on the court. He's hungry, he's ready to play, he's ready to get physical, he's ready to compete, he's ready to contest every single shot. He's not intimidated by this dude, all right? Let me tell you something.
And man, I'm feeling it right now. This game's going to be something special. I'm really excited to watch these two teams play. I mean, we've been talking about it here. I'm getting butterflies in my stomach, even just announcing this game, not even playing it, just sitting here and announcing it. So I'm really hoping for the best here tonight for the boys.
There's something special about this rivalry between Sterling and Haddonfield in all sports, and as of recently, it feels like basketball is the most electric. So we're just about set for tip-off. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm Jake Clark, joined by Dan Leakan and Ben Nicholas. Tip-off is about to be underway. It'll be both number 21s and Nate Rolfing and Walter Garrison taking the tip. Rolfing with 6 inches over Walter Garrison and wins the tip. It's Narducci, who does get the start tonight. Was a bit questionable with the injury, but is starting. So here's Rolfing. He draws a double out to Narducci now at the top of the key. Looking to work off a screen. There is Roddy. Finds Langen. And Patrick Ryan now with it. Haddonfield looking to take their time. There's Roddy. Ball was poked away, and that's got to be energizing. And now taken away by Walter Garrison, an early turnover for the Knights.
And one thing that we heard from the coaches and the players is that if you can get on Rolfing and get physical, he's going to make mistakes. And we saw Travis Schmid use his shoulder a little bit, get him the body, and he couldn't do anything with that. It was a great play, great defense from the Knights.
Here's Johnson, bit of a miscommunication, ended up in the hands of Borsch. Now Johnson to Borsch. Borsch for three. Got it! Josh Borsch from beyond the arc making an early impact in his first start.
And that must be electrifying for the young player to start off his game just like that.
Miscommunication there on defense, and Zach Langen with a basket for the Bulldogs.
I'm telling you, it's going to be hard to guard Josh Borsch if he keeps that shot up.
So here's Camardo being the floor general for the Knights. Schmid in the corner. He's picked up by Ryan. Garrison guarded closely by Narducci, spinning into the lane. Garrison, nice finesse into the lane for Walter Garrison.
Beautiful layup.
Bobbing and weaving his way to the basket. What a great job from Walter Garrison there. Very impressive.
Here's Narducci, thinks about a three, now fires in the face of Garrison, off the mark, and Johnson lets that one go out of play.
What a start by the Knights.
Narducci just missed that three, but he's the leading scorer for the Bulldogs, 110 points on the year for the senior Sam Narducci.
And this super fan section really getting in the head of these Bulldogs a bit here. I mean, they came ready to shout. They're doing a great job so far.
Schmid puts it on the floor for Garrison. Garrison looking around for help, swatted away by Roddy. Dair Roddy with the block. Here is Langen. Back out to Roddy. Now it's Ryan. Nice ball movement and ends up in the hands of Narducci. Guarded by Borsch. Roddy looking for a screen. Doesn't call for one. Now drives. Kick out to Narducci. Fires up a three. Shot is pure from Sam Narducci from beyond the arc. Again, this game is now tied at 5. It is with 5:35 left on the clock.
He's a vital part of this team, clearly, and it's good for the Dogs to have him back.
Borsch again from beyond the arc. That shot is good for Josh Borsch.
And this young sophomore is not to be scared of. I mean, he is such a great player.
Narducci fires back with another three, and both teams are trading threes now, tied at 8.
Jake, am I getting wet? Because it's raining in here with 3 so far, and this has been super impressive from both squads. They're doing a great job so far.
Borsch called with the travel right there, 5:07 remaining.
And I'm telling you guys, if Borsch just keeps up that shot, he's going to be a very, very difficult person for this Haddonfield team to try and guard.
Borsch with 6 points. Rolfing gets a mismatch inside, and the layup is converted. Hung on the rim for a little bit, but Nate Rolfing is on the board.
You can't allow someone like that inside the paint for free. You need someone on him.
Schmid finds Garrison, pass too hot to handle, and ends up in the hands of Roddy. Roddy going downhill, pass high, but corralled by Langen. Now Narducci picked up by Johnson. Here is Roddy. Might be looking for a screen and gets one. And they get the mismatch they want, but it's picked away by Walter Garrison.
He's shown great defensive IQ so far and having a couple pickaways here. Doing a great job tonight.
So here's Garrison outside. Now driving, spinning, kicks out to Borsch. Borsch for three. That one off the mark. Rebound, Roddy. 4 minutes remain. It's 10-8. The Bulldogs lead it.
Definitely a smart play there. Trying to get the ball, and someone with the hot hand just couldn't get the right shot off.
I can't quite make out what the superfans are chanting every single time the ball lands in Narducci's hands. But I don't think I want to know.
Probably not family friendly for us to say here on the broadcast. Haddonfield taking their time in this half-court set. A lot of off-the-ball movement. Here's Narducci from the corner. That shot off the mark. Punched around, rebound, Camardo. Camardo looking to slow things up. Finds Johnson. Johnson with the pull-up three. That one too strong. Rebound, Ryan. The first team All-State linebacker for Haddonfield with the rebound. Just over 3 minutes remain. Score remains the same, 10-8. The Bulldogs lead it. Now Narducci, a little bit of space from beyond the arc, and that shot is good. And Narducci looks almost 100% from the injury, and now ends up with a steal. Here's Patrick Ryan, and a turnover there for the Knights.
Well, you can't lay up like that.
Narducci, another three. That one off the mark. Rebound, Rolfing. Rolfing is doubled. Rolfing's shot is good. Using all of that 6-8 and a timeout for Sterling. 15-8, the Bulldogs lead it.
Well, when you leave Narducci open from beyond the arc, you're going to get killed. And quite frankly, there's a defensive breakdown, and it's going to happen. And that's a great put-in by Rolfing in order to capitalize on that turnover. And, I mean, both teams have come out hot, but the Bulldogs have had the edge so far.
And let me tell you something. Another thing that this Sterling team has had to work on so far is rebounding. They're not getting the amount of rebounds they need in a game like this. You need to be competitive getting those rebounds. If not, you're just going to let the offense continue to work. You need to get the rebounds, defensive and offensive.
Tough to do with a guy like Nate Rolfing down in the low post at 6'8". Definitely a strong rebounding threat.
A very difficult opponent to face when trying.
So as we exit from the timeout, it is 15-8. The Bulldogs lead over the Knights with 2:45 remaining in this first quarter. If you're just joining us, I'm Jake Clark, joined by Dan Leakan and Ben Nicholas. And Ben doing two things at once, as the Travis Kelce commercial says. He's announcing and doing the camera for us. So major shout out to Ben Nicholas.
Mahomes and Ma'ato. Yeah, it's honestly not that difficult because I sort of shut up. I don't really talk when I'm doing the camera, and then when I'm off, I get to do something else. So it's a nice combo. Vaguely reminiscent of one Tad Kozneski's early days.
Mr. K did the girls' game. The girls were handed a tough loss by the very talented Haddonfield Bulldogs, their girls' team, and there's a turnover. Now it's being batted around. Narducci with it on the ground, and now ends up in the hands of Jason Camardo. Wow, what a series of events there. Camardo doing the wise thing, slowing this one up. Sterling needs a basket. Here's Borsch. He has 6 points already for the Knights. Borsch down on the low block, spinning, taken away. Nice defensive play there by Patrick Ryan. Narducci with the cross-course pass. Now good ball movement here. Here's Roddy, picked up by Camardo. Rolfing down low. Rolfing was doubled, allowed for Patrick Ryan to drive inside. Shot no good. Rebound Camardo.
That's the type of rebound that you need.
Jason Camardo doing a nice job. The ball's getting bobbled around and just finding his hands right now. As 1:45 remains, Haddonfield still leads 15-8. Schmid, top of the key. Camardo for three in the corner. Got it! Jason Camardo with a three on the board for the Knights.
Much needed points to support the morale.
Now just makes it a 4-point game. Here is Roddy, picked up by Camardo, who just hit that three. Langen now finds Ryan. Ryan with a lot of space, drives inside. Shot's good for Patrick Ryan.
Bit of a miscommunication on defense once again. Schmidt didn't know who to guard and was too late to guard.
So here's Borsch getting doubled, dumps it off to Camardo. Camardo, floater, too high, too strong, gets his own rebound, puts it on the floor, out to Schmid. Schmid for three. Let out the goon, Travis Schmid. Fires up a three and cans it from beyond the arc.
An absolute downpour of threes.
Yes, it's been raining threes as now 35 seconds remain. Haddonfield with a 3-point advantage over the Knights at 17-14 Bulldogs. Narducci in the corner, thought about a three, now drives inside, attacks Garrison, and one for Sam Narducci. He's fired up. Good play there for the senior guard.
Yet another reason why having Narducci back on this lineup is so important for this team, averaging 18.3 points a game.
Narducci for the and one free throw, converts. Now a 20-14 Bulldog lead, now just 22 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Schmid, cross-court pass to Borsch. He's had a hot hand here in this first quarter. Nice cut to the basket by Camardo, but he's doubled. Kick out Borsch. Borsch loses it. Intercepted by Ryan. Now a cross-court pass here, and that one is laid in by Matthew Morris. And so that will do it. Shot won't count from Camardo. Haddonfield leads after one, 22-14. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Sterling Channel 19. Second quarter action just about to get underway. Sterling trailing this one to the Bulldogs, 22-14. I'm Jake Clark, joined by Dan Leakan and Ben Nicholas on the call here today at Haddonfield. Guys, it was raining threes from both sides in that first quarter.
I mean, we said it a lot, and we sound like a broken record, but both teams were almost perfect from beyond the arc. I mean, Sterling started off really hot. Josh Borsch hit 2 quick threes to give him 6, but I mean, it's really tough to start Sam Narducci, who was raining threes from beyond the arc, and finish the quarter with a tough and one.
Yeah, Narducci has made a big difference for this Bulldogs team as now Sterling begins the quarter offensively. Borsch, kick out to Camardo. Camardo swings it over to Johnson. Haddonfield doing a nice job. Looks like they changed their defense a little bit. Johnson with a good look from beyond the arc, and there he is for 3. Julian Johnson with a good bucket from beyond the arc to begin this second quarter for the Knights.
Ice cold Julian. He plays the game. He's so calm, and I really like his style. What a nice three-pointer from him there.
Pull-up jumper rolls around the rim and is good for Sam Narducci to answer back for the Bulldogs.
What a night from beyond the arc.
24-17, just a minute off the clock in this second quarter. Bulldogs still have the lead. So here is Garrison to Johnson. Johnson fires up another 3. He's got it again! Julian Johnson heating up from 3.
You're getting the ball in the right hands. Julian Johnson just plays it, and he has a miraculous jumper. I really love his style, and I'm really happy to see him get on the board a little bit here after a 17-point game last game.
It's going to be very critical as now he's matched up with Narducci, the ball carrier. Here's Patrick Ryan out to Narducci. That's too much space for him. Sterling gets lucky there as bad shot from Narducci.
Lucky bounce, too.
So here's Camardo. Finds Borsch, had 6 in that first quarter. Johnson with 6 in this quarter. Here's Camardo. Camardo for 3. Shots off the mark. Ball bobbled around. Rebound, Marquise Holloway. Swings it back out to Camardo. Camardo, cross-court pass, but just out of the reach of Josh Borsch.
With the way this game is being played so far, it seems like no lead is going to be safe. You are raining threes. Leads can be crushed in mere seconds of play.
Looking at an interesting look here, Josh Borsch just got taken off, so Marquise Holloway is going to be the bigger man on the court for the Knights. We'll see how this fares for them.
5:50 remaining in this second quarter. Narducci's step back is off the mark. Rebound there from Morris. Morris swatted away by Travis Schmid.
Great block there.
Gave him the goon with that one, swatted it away and stared him down right after. Travis is a cold player, and I really like that play.
A resounding rejection from Travis Schmid. Sterling still trails this one 24-20 with 5:43 left on the clock. Douglas inbounded. There's Narducci. Quick pass to Morris. Morris shot is up and good. Good shot for the 5'11 senior guard. So here's Camardo quarterbacking this offense for the Knights. Schmid outside, matched up against Rolfing. Schmid, nice dribble pull up. Shot is off the mark. Rebound, Patrick Ryan. Here's Douglas. Finds Ryan. Ball now in the corner for Morris. Morris with a nice drive to the baseline. Good basket there for Matthew Morris.
Great layup.
The 5'11 senior has a bit of a mismatch on him with Jason Camardo. Jason Camardo just a little bit smaller. Just welcomed into this varsity squad this year, but he's held his own very well and just got beat on that defensive play.
Bulldogs lead by 8. 4:45 remaining in this second quarter. If you're just joining us, I'm Jake Clark, joined by Dan Leakan and Ben Nicholas. Here's Garrison spinning, fadeaway, too strong, rebound Holloway. And we've got a foul on the floor. Looks to be against Haddonfield.
might have been over the back, bear hug. Can't really do that in basketball.
Azir Bethea coming in for Jason Camardo here.
Another young kid on the court.
Bethea, the 5'10 sophomore, played in 6 games this year for the Knights, all 6 games for the Knights. Nice job getting the ball out when he was trapped in the corner. Ball was poked away, but it looks like it'll stay with Sterling, last touched by Phil McFillin. So Sterling to inbound. And it is taken away by Morris. Here is Ryan. Now gets it to McFillin. McFillin has 11 made threes on the year, somebody to watch for beyond the arc besides Sam Narducci for this Haddonfield Bulldogs offense. Ryan, shot is up and tipped by Travis Schmidt, another block for number 2 of the Sterling Knights. Sloppy pass there now, running in transition. Here's Morris. Morris drives, fouled. Johnson can't believe it.
And just a couple of nice defensive drives. I mean, we got that block from Travis Schmidt and an errant pass. Set up Haddonfield for an easy layup. Julian Johnson trying to plead his case here with Coach Behringer, but just didn't get what he wanted.
So Morris at the line, averaging 8.9 points per game in all 8 games for the Bulldogs.
And something that set up this, these couple defensive drives was a really weird inbound play from Sterling. They had Marquise Holloway calling for it with his right hand, and except for giving him the ball, he kind of tried to force it to Azir Bethea, and it just
Morris
did not work out for him.
100% from the free throw line, as he has been this season.
Morris now 9 for 9 from the charity stripe, looking to go 10 for 10 and make it a 10-point game, and is successful. So now a 10-point Bulldog lead. Haddonfield again leads this one 30-20 with 3:50 on the clock in this second quarter. Garrison outside. Pull-up jumper from the free throw line. Front iron.
And the shooters for Sterling have gone a little bit cold here and has given Haddonfield this run that they've had since the start of the second.
Haddonfield's reserve unit done a nice job to this point maintaining that lead. Here's Langen. Good ball movement here from the Bulldogs. Spinning is Morris, finds Langen, finds Ryan. Here is Morris picked up by Garrison. Garrison tried to poke it away. Morris keeps possession. Haddonfield taking their time. We've got a timeout from Coach Paul Wiedemann.
Clearly didn't like what he was seeing out there, but it's definitely a good timeout. I think even Sterling needed that timeout a little bit. This game was starting to get out of their hands. It gives them a second to recalibrate and come back out with a nice offense.
3:10 left on the clock, still a 10-point game. 30-20 the Bulldogs lead. If you're just joining us, I'm Jake Clark, joined by Dan Leakan and Ben Nicholas.
It's been a tough game for the Knights so far. Shots that should have gone in haven't gone in. I mean, we were talking about how they were doing very well from beyond the arc, but in the lane, a lot of shots are just bouncing around, going in and out. I mean,
and right now Sterling has made a couple mental errors and a couple physical errors that have allowed Haddonfield to get good looks in transition. You haven't seen Haddonfield make too many mistakes, and right now that's why they hold a 10-point advantage.
Sterling definitely just has to keep their composure because they're a group of young kids, and a lot of times young kids like to start getting a little scrappy, trying to make a play. They have to keep composed, they have to keep playing their game, but they also have to start making some shots. As Ben said earlier, some of the shots that they've been taking have not went down, so they really got to hope that some of them start hitting a little bit.
Morris drives inside, shot is up, too short, rebound Bethea. Bethea in transition, Bethea going to the rim, no foul, rebound Garrison, Walter Garrison up and in.
Strong drive by Bethea.
And a nice job cleaning it up on the glass from Walter Garrison. Here's Morris, thought about a 3. Now gets it to Douglas. Douglas' shot, front iron. Rebound Langen. In the corner is Morris. Outside McFillin. McFillin working on Johnson. The Knights holding their own here defensively on this possession. Douglas looking for a play call from Coach Wiedemann. Well defended by Walter Garrison. Great job there on the perimeter from Walter Garrison. Ryan drives inside, kick out to the corner. Shot is up, no good from McFillin. Gets his own rebound. Drives in the lane, swatted by Julian Johnson.
What a block.
Julian Johnson does have to be careful a little bit. He does not want to get a technical because after that he stood over his defender or stood over the offensive player and kind of hit a flex. You do not want to get a tech in this important of a game, and that could be crucial for a team.
With careful hands, that was all ball and that was all force. My goodness.
Narducci checks back into the game for the Bulldogs. 2 minutes exactly on the clock. 8-point ball game. Bulldogs lead it. Narducci, they get it right back to him. Closeout by Schmid is strong enough. Tip in, no good. Off of Langen, Sterling ball. Sterling looking to go on a run with this last minute, 50 seconds.
Sterling trying to step on the gas pedal a little bit here. They're getting some momentum on the defensive side of the ball, shutting down Haddonfield from beyond the arcs in the past couple minutes. And so they're trying to look for a spark offensively, trying to get them back into this game.
Less than 2 minutes left in the half.
Camardo bringing the ball up for the Knights. Give and go to Garrison. Poked away, and now in the hands of Ryan. Ryan swatted by Walter Garrison. A chase down block, but a foul.
I don't know if I exactly agree with that call right there.
And it looks like they get Walter Garrison on the goaltend. Tough break there for the Knights.
It was above. I'm
gonna keep that one to me. The refs do their job, and we're listening to the people in the stripes, and that's what we're gonna go with up here.
Nevertheless, a great athletic play from Walter Garrison. Still now a 10-point game as Haddonfield gets the 2 points. Nice crossover by Garrison. Drives inside. Walter Garrison around the whole team.
And this Sterling team, telling the people who said that they couldn't, that they can. They're keeping up with an 8-0 team right now. 8-0, almost better than we've seen them the past couple of years, and especially with this veteran head coach that they have. So it's very interesting to see Sterling hang with them as much as they have.
Langen answers back for the Bulldogs. Now under a minute remaining, 34-24. The Bulldogs lead it. Garrison working against Langen. Garrison looking around, finds Borsch. Been quiet in the second quarter, but was hot in that first with 6 points. Johnson, pull-up jumper. Too strong. Rebound, Camardo. Another strong rebound and a foul.
And Jason Camardo with a phenomenal effort. I mean, that kid brings so much effort into this team. He's such a great player, and he's filled into this role nicely. He only played JV last year, only played freshman year. And he's coming to this varsity spot with so much pressure on him, trying to replace Bramir Long, and has done a great job doing so.
If there's one thing this Knights team is showing, it's effort.
Schmid in the corner, picked up by Narducci. Pass to Camardo. Sterling has 18 seconds to get a shot off. Here's Borsch. Finds Johnson to Schmid in the corner. 10 seconds remaining. Sterling gonna hold for the last shot. Never mind. Julian Johnson for three. Cans it from beyond the arc.
Yet another dot from beyond the arc.
Rolfing's last shot at the buzzer is good. And so going into the half, the 2 points from Nate Rolfing will count. It's a 36-27 Bulldogs lead. We'll be back right after halftime for second half action after this. Welcome back to Sterling Channel 19. I'm Jake Clark, joined by Dan Leakan and Ben Nicholas here on the broadcast. Here at halftime, Haddonfield leads over the Sterling Knights 36-27, and we have our leading scorers from the half. For Sterling, it was Julian Johnson with 9, Walter Garrison with 6, and Joshua Borsch with 6. And for Haddonfield, Sam Narducci with 14, Matthew Morris with 8, and Patrick Ryan with 6. And guys, Julian Johnson got hot in that second quarter.
Man, he was raining threes all over the place, and he is a big spark for this Sterling team. Brings a lot of chemistry into the locker room. Everyone likes him, and man, he seems so hot that second quarter from beyond the arc, from defense to offense. What a great player he is.
And yeah, Josh Borsch was on fire in the first quarter. He was raining threes. He was playing good defense. He's been doing great so far for his first start. especially as a sophomore, guys. This is a kid who's going to keep on developing.
And then when we take a look on the Haddonfield Bulldogs side of things, guys, they're definitely glad to have Sam Narducci back.
Well, Narducci, I mean, he's just been fired from beyond the arc, and a lot of the time they're collapsing in on Rolfing and just can't get the look that they want, and somehow, in some way, Rolfing gets that out of there. Narducci's open, and obviously with a player of that caliber, he's going to cash it home every time. So they just have to do a little bit more careful, guarding their players, picking their double teams, and I'm sure they'll get right back into this game.
It's been one rowdy game from both sides of the stands. You've had Haddonfield making shots at Sterling. You've had Sterling making shots at Haddonfield. It's been harsh. It's been rough. It's been rowdy. It's been loud. These fans love their teams, love their players. They love the game, and they hate each other.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Ben. That was very well said. Buzzer sounds at the 1 minute mark. Sterling right now just has to tighten things up a little bit defensively to try and get themselves back in this game. And we were talking over the break, right now with the energy in this gym, Dan, it's almost felt like a one-possession game this entire time.
Well, that's exactly what I said almost. And, I mean, the score says 36-27, but I think both of these teams know that this game's a lot closer. Any lead could be lost in a matter of seconds, as Ben was saying a lot earlier. And I'm just so excited for the second half. I mean, there's not much I can really say. I'm excited to get back to some basketball. This game almost feels like an Eagles-Cowboys game or a Sixers-Celtics game. It's just that energy of rivalry that puts this game on a whole nother level.
I'm surprised you didn't talk about the Flyers there and their rivals for a second, Dan. You don't want to talk about them?
It's not the time right now. We're back down to earth.
Mr. K is cringing hearing about Dan and the Flyers, but we are about to get back to the hardwood. Sterling Haddonfield Friday night. Haddonfield leads this one 36-27. Sterling going to start this third quarter with possession.
And they're rolling out their starting five to start off this third quarter as well.
Excuse me, I stand corrected. Looks like Haddonfield will have the ball to begin this third quarter. Langan to inbound. He finds Roddy. Haddonfield now scoring on the basket further from us. Second half action underway. Here's Rolfing. Nice cut, but pass too hot to handle, and Narducci with a turnover there.
Yep, and I mean, Sterling's defense broke down a little bit there, and as we were talking in the break, there's been too many miscommunications. They got a break there. Let's see what they can do offensively.
Too many small mental and defensive errors.
Here's Camardo. Thought about a three over Narducci, thinks otherwise. Now Borsch picked up by Rolfing. Finds Garrison. Garrison, pull-up jumper is good. Nothing but nylon for Walter Garrison.
And I mean, you're putting the ball in the hands of your best playmaker. That's a great play from Walter Garrison.
Roddy finds Narducci. He's picked up by Johnson. Right back to Roddy in the corner. Looking for Patrick Ryan, and they got him. Out to Narducci. Over to Langan. Great ball movement from the Bulldogs, and Langan with a little bit of space from beyond the arc. Front iron, rebound, Travis Schmid. Travis Schmid with a beautiful bounce pass, but Walter Garrison loses it, and guys, that's another mistake that the Knights are going to wish they had back.
And Travis Schmid did it, and us three did it up here. We all winced at that because that was a great opportunity for Walter Garrison, and he's such a great playmaker. Just a tough break there.
Little fumbles like that.
Almost looked a little Mahoney.
Almost a little. Dude, I was going to say that at some point in the broadcast, and you beat me to it.
Langan wide open. Nothing but air there.
That was not a little Mahoney.
36-29. The Bulldogs lead. 6:30 remaining in this third quarter. Good ball movement. Borsch from beyond the arc. Too strong there. And that one, last touch by Travis Schmid.
And these super fans are not happy about the ref's decision so far this game.
A couple of calls that haven't gone Sterling's way in that first half, and another one that the super fans seem to think didn't go their way either. And a miscommunication there from Dyer Roddy. It's another turnover, and Haddonfield starting to come out a little sloppy in this second half.
Yeah, they're looking how Sterling was looking in the first half, and Sterling just has to start capitalizing on some of these mistakes. The moment they start doing that, the moment they're closer and closer into this game, and this Sterling team is a fighting team, so they will claw their way back into this game as much as they can.
That would have been a great pass if the ref was a player.
So here's Johnson in the quarter working against Roddy. Pull-up jumper, front iron. Rebound Rolfing. Rolfing just looking to get rid of it. Well guarded by Travis Schmid. He's playing very well defensively against Nate Rolfing.
This is exactly what he was talking about pregame.
So here's Narducci, picked up by Johnson. Now Roddy looking to set something up for the Bulldogs. Good ball movement. It's in the hands of Morris. Finding Narducci. Narducci off a screen. And Narducci's shot no good. Perfect position from Rolfing. Couldn't get the second chance bucket to go.
Sterling Superfans looking for a little bit of an offensive foul there. Julian Johnson fell down a little bit on the screen, looking for an illegal screen there. So they are not happy right now, but luckily Rolfing could not put that one in.
I've heard that a lot as a big man, that when you're that close to the net, you should be making those every single time, but I'll vouch for him here. It's not as easy as it is.
Walter Garrison, lots of contact, no foul. Refs are letting them play here early in this second half. 5 minutes remain. Sterling trails 36-29 against the Haddonfield Bulldogs. If you're just joining us, I'm Jake Clark with Dan Leakan and Ben Nicholas on the broadcast. Nice finger roll layup there from Sam Narducci.
And we saw there a bit of a miscommunication between Julian Johnson and Josh Borsch. And we were talking about earlier in the intermission that Zion Arnett Fields, his presence is missed just a little bit. And I mean, it's starting to show with the chemistry on the court. They're bumping into each other. There's plays that are going arid. So let's hope that Sterling can rile themselves back up here after this timeout.
Chemistry just seems to be a bit off for the Knights and a bit frustrated coming into the huddle.
And that's something that we always compliment on the broadcast. Coach Behringer coaches such a well-oiled machine that's all these guys play with each other all the time, outside of school, inside of school. So it's tough when one of those missing pieces is not there. And Zion out with an illness today. Hope he gets better, but definitely rooting on his boys here in Haddonfield.
I hope that next time Sterling plays Haddonfield, his presence will be a difference maker.
Yeah, absolutely. They're missing him a little bit chemistry-wise, but Josh Borsch has filled in quite nicely. He had 6 points at the half. Buzzer sounds. Timeout is about to be over. Travis Schmid trying to rally the troops in the huddle. The Knights are right in this game, guys.
I mean, I said coming back into this quarter that the Knights are never out of this. I mean, they play with such heart. They play with such chemistry, which is something that we've been touching on a lot, that they are never out of a game. They always claw themselves back. And right when you think you put them to sleep, they will come back and make a difference.
Haddonfield, a very well dynamic offense, and the Knights defense doing a good job to this point. Haddonfield has scored over 90 points twice this season against West Deptford and Atlantic Tech. Right now only at 38, so a nice job from the Knights on the defensive end of things.
I mean, we've seen a few blocks from Travis Schmid and Julian Johnson specifically that are really giving them some spark on the defensive side of the ball.
High IQ play as Schmid just throws that one off of Narducci, so Sterling keeps possession here.
If Sterling could go on a little bit of a run here, this game will feel much more like the energy in the stadium, a lot more close.
Garrison drives inside, swatted away by Patrick Ryan. Rebound from Borsch, and it rolls off of Garrison. A resounding block from Ryan and a costly turnover again from Walter Garrison.
I mean, the big linebacker with a thunderous block, and that was really impressive. Gives Haddonfield some possession and maybe a spark on the offensive side.
Yeah, you said it, Dan. First team All-State linebacker, and he was the leading tackler in the WJFL this past season. So now we get back to the action on the hardwood. Morris with a bit much space from the outside, and he knocks it down.
I mean, you're going to give this Haddonfield Bulldogs that much space, they're going to capitalize. You know, Rolfing is definitely doing a good job of getting so much in the middle that they're leaving the shooters wide open for, you know, them to knock down some threes. And, I mean, both teams have been hot from beyond the arc tonight.
Past the halfway mark, and there's a foul on Narducci. Lots of contact on Camardo. 3:45 on the clock. The Haddonfield Bulldogs lead this one 41-29 over the Sterling Knights. Sterling has to get a bit of a run going here, guys.
I mean, they've had the pressure all night long. It's just some miscommunication, some chemistry stuff, and it's just not going their way. And you may argue a few missed calls as well, but you know, they're doing a good job of staying into this, and they're never out of something when it's this close.
Walter Garrison checks out. Marquise Holloway, the senior, checks in for the Knights, and they give the ball to him. Now back to Johnson. Here's Camardo. Thought about a three, now drives inside. Kick out to Schmid in the corner. Schmid puts the ball on the floor. Pull-up jumper, too strong. Rebound Rolfing. Sterling struggling a little bit offensively coming out of the half. Here's Morris, another three. Nothing but air there from Morris. Here's Johnson. Johnson drives inside. Layup gets back iron. Narducci, nice pass out to Morris, and Morris lays that one in. Matthew Morris was one of the leading scorers with 8 at the half, has 5 points in this third quarter.
And they're starting to push away from Sterling a little bit here. He just had a wide open lane straight to the basket. There's nothing Sterling could really do there. And there's just another steal for Haddonfield.
Another turnover for the Knights. Here's Morris yet again working on Borsch. Now backs it out. Out from beyond the arc. Shot is up and good for Dyer Roddy. And Haddonfield is starting to run away with this thing.
A definite energy shift within this stadium.
And you
can feel it.
You can't let their shooters open like that. Sterling is doing so much in the middle trying to cover Rolfing that all of the shooters beyond the arc are open, and that's what's killed you the entire game. You can't let them open like that.
Haddonfield just getting too many looks in transition. Matthew Morris poked the bear a little bit of the Superfans, and now the Rowdy gang and the Superfans going back and forth at one another.
And this is what we were expecting. We were expecting things to get a little bit rowdy. You see what I did there, huh?
Funny little pun intended there from Dan Leakan. It's a shame he'll be sticking to broadcasting and not taking a career in stand-up comedy.
The drums. I'm really hoping Sterling can go on a run here, because if there's a team I do not like more than anyone, it is Haddonfield. So I'm really hoping Sterling can pull away, starting to go on a little bit of a run here and just get some spark back onto their bench.
Right now, Sterling just needs a basket from one of their leaders. One of their leaders now had the ball, gives it over to Julian Johnson, the leader being Walter Garrison, only senior in the starting lineup. Ball is back to Garrison. He's picked up by Ryan. Holloway gives it to Schmidt. He's picked up by Narducci. Cutting inside is Garrison. Garrison fighting. Fouled. Patrick Ryan on the foul.
And Garrison taking an interesting matchup, trying to, body the linebacker a little bit there, and that's not going to get you a lot of luck, especially down in the post.
Johnson inbound, puts it on the floor, poked away. Ryan creates another turnover for the Knights. Here's Morris, thought about a three, now drives inside. Morris, layup is up and good, and Matthew Morris have a night. 2 minutes remain. It's 48-29 Bulldogs lead, and Matthew Morris has been electric in this third quarter for Haddonfield. Garrison pushes off, jump shot no good, rebound Narducci. Haddonfield just beginning to take complete and utter control. Narducci drives inside, shot no good, rebound Garrison. Sterling looking to get out on the run. And now Garrison slows things up, finds Johnson. Johnson, pull up three over Morris, is off the mark. Rebound Roddy. Roddy in the corner. Morris, too much space, leaves it short. And that will go out of play.
Sterling doing something we saw against Haddon Township just a little bit. Towards the third quarter and into the second half, the wheels started to fall off a little bit, not to the point where they were losing, but to the point where, Haddon Township started to gain a little bit back. And I think that's been their kryptonite all season, is after the half, they do not come out hot, and they have to start getting hot at the start of the half in order to, get that momentum to finish out the game.
6'8" center Nate Rolfing checks out for the Bulldogs. Justice Gamble checks in for the Sterling Knights. And he'll be the one set to inbound. So here's Camardo. 1:20 remaining in this third quarter, and Sterling needs to get something going, and going fast if they want any shot at getting back in this game.
There have been quite a few errors by Haddonfield so far leading up this possession.
Garrison working against Ryan. Garrison, pull up three. He's fouled and will go to the line, shooting three.
Some points on the board here would be good for the team.
Correction, Jake, I don't want to prove you wrong. Ref throwing up a two. I think he's only shooting two.
Looks like I guess the foot was inside the line. Nevertheless, Garrison shoot 80% from the line, 20 for 25. First one off the mark. Tough miss there. Now checking into the game for Camardo is Azir Bethea. Second free throw is pure from Walter Garrison, so the Knights get back on the board. 1 minute remains in this third quarter. It's 48-30. The Bulldogs lead over the Knights.
Coach Justin Behringer going with a pretty different look. Has a total of 3 bench players out right now, only 2 starters for the Knights. So we'll see how this goes for them, ticking down the seconds in this third quarter.
45 seconds remain. It's Roddy. Finds Rolfing, who checked back in. Swatted away by Walter Garrison. And a high IQ play there by Justice Gamble. Wow, what a rejection from Walter Garrison on the 6'8" Nate Rolfing.
That is the type of plays you need to make to get the energy back on your side for your team.
Down by 18, that is definitely what you need going into this fourth quarter. Absolute bunnies there from Walter Garrison to absolutely say, not today and not in my house, to Rolfing.
Now here's Garrison picked up by Langen, spinning into the lane. Walter Garrison fouled, will go to the line. Was 1 for 2 on his last trip.
And again, you saw it there. The ball bounced in and out around. This team is just off of having all of those points, but it's just off.
Again, Garrison's first free throw, no good. And right now, any points are good points for the Sterling Knights, trailing this one by 18. Second one is also off the mark and rebounded by McFillin. Finds Roddy, 15 seconds remain. Here's McFillin. Finds Morris, he's been hot this third quarter, now Langen. Time ticking down, 5 seconds remain for the Bulldogs. Roddy with a big spin move there, finds Rolfing. Roddy heaves it up at the buzzer. Shot way off the mark, and after 3 quarters, a commanding Bulldogs lead, 48-30 over the Sterling Silver Knights. We'll be back with fourth quarter action after a brief break. Welcome back to Sterling Channel 19. Sterling trails this one by 18 points and is going to need a miracle comeback in this fourth quarter. I'm Jake Clark, joined by Dan Leakan and Ben Nicholas. And guys, Matt Morris has been on fire and was on fire in that third quarter for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and he's been electric, and I'm getting, looks from the super fans. Leader Anthony Moudry shaking his head at me, knowing we're a little disappointed with the team right now. But listen, basketball's a game of runs. Sterling can go on a run here. They're right back in this game. Realistically, sometimes runs end about 12 points. If Sterling get 12 points here, they're down by 6. It's a game again. Let's see if they can get back into it.
Sterling needing every basket on every possession to try and make this one more of a ball game. Here's Borsch in the corner, picked up by Rolfing. Borsch looking around, pass to Johnson, guarded by Roddy. Johnson pull-up 3 is good, and a big basket to start the fourth quarter from Julian Johnson, the junior.
Exactly what you need.
And that's a great start. And not having the leading scorer, Walter Garrison, in the lineup to start is interesting, but that's a great play from Julian Johnson.
Ball bobbled around. Morris in that same corner, fires up a 3, rims out, rebound, Rolfing. Rolfing fouled by Travis Schmid.
And Travis Schmid doing all he can. Rolfing has almost a 7-inch height advantage over Travis Schmid, trying to get the board, trying to be physical, but gets a little too much body there. So it's a good attempt.
It's going to be easy for him to draw fouls if he's going for those aggressive blocks like that.
First free throw is good for Rolfing, but he does fit the big man stereotype in not being a great free throw shooter, only 62% from the line this season. Garrison now checks back into the game for Justice Gamble. Rolfing trying to convert once again here at the charity stripe. Bounces around, unsuccessful there. Rebound, Johnson. Sterling looking to claw back into this game and play up-tempo. Johnson fires up another 3. Shot off the mark. Rebound, Jason Camardo. Camardo's shot rims out. Camardo's done a great job on the glass, but just nothing going for him offensively.
surprisingly, with the amount of height differences we have on the court, he's been one of the best rebounders for the Knights. The ball has just found him really well tonight, and he's doing a really good job on the glass.
In the corner, McFillin for three. Shot no good. Good rebound by Borsch. 6'4" frame, picks up a rebound. Wayward pass there, intercepted by Morris. So a turnover for Camardo. Morris drives inside, and a travel there on Matt Morris. Super fans are happy about that one as he gave them the business during that third quarter.
Yeah, he ripped a three that caused a timeout and immediately turned towards Ensar Yagamerkaya and Anthony Mudry and started giving them the talk. And so I'm sure the super fans are happy to see that one.
Here's Camardo. He's picked up by Narducci. Camardo dribbling around now, looking to pass, finds Garrison. Garrison against Ryan. Garrison, pull-up jumper. Rims around, no good. Another tough break there for the Knights as the rebound went to Roddy.
These shots are just not falling for the Knights.
Here's Roddy working off the screen. In the corner, Narducci. Narducci lost it for a second. Garrison tried to pick the pocket. Wayward pass just out of the reach. And we've got a whistle and a timeout. So no shot there. Paul Wiedemann sensing his Bulldogs were in trouble and wise to use a timeout there. 5:55 remaining on the clock. Sterling trails 49-33 against the Haddonfield Bulldogs.
And I do want to give another shout out to this fan section. They came all the way out here. It's a far walk from that train station, man. And for the people who drive here, there's not a lot of parking. I got here 2 hours before for the guys, and I could barely find parking. So for everyone who came out, thank you, and go Knights.
That's a big thank you. I mean, the super fan section, they go through thick and thin to support their teams. I mean, we saw it, the girls soccer team came out to the Coaches Cup semifinals and finals.
That was
that was a really good time, really great game. It was so much fun. So, I mean, they travel super well, and especially with a big rival such as Haddonfield, you knew they were going to show up, and they were going to show up well tonight.
I was the cameraman for those games, and oh my God, that was some of the best sports I've gotten to film as a cameraman so far.
And Ben and I even partied in the section for a little bit too. That was a ton of fun too.
I got my break time with Dan in the section. We were doing some funny things.
So Haddonfield to inbound now. It'll be Dyer Roddy to inbound for the Bulldogs. Looking around, heaves one all the way out to Morris, and a foul against Walter Garrison. And another questionable call from the officials that does not go Sterling's way. I don't know about you guys. I did not see a ton of contact there from Garrison. Looked like he got most of the ball.
Me neither, Jake. That was a call.
Jake, was that Roddy throwing that one in right there? He looked like Jalen Hurts on fourth down right there.
I wonder who his Brian Johnson is.
Technically, I guess it's Coach Paul Wiedemann, but now we're focusing up on the action back in the court. Step back from Morris. Short, rebound Ryan. Ryan, another foul from Walter Garrison, so he's probably now in a little bit of foul trouble. Believe that's his fourth.
The Haddonfield section did not like that bit of physicality there early in the play.
I got to say, there's been physicality in this entire game. I don't know what else they're going to expect.
A physical game.
Correction there. Joshua Borsch on the foul. His first free throw is good for Patrick Ryan. Again, the first-team All-State linebacker.
Despite the lead, they have minimized the damage. Haddonfield has only scored 3 points since the start of the quarter.
Yeah, you said it, Ben. As now 5:30 remaining on the clock. It is a 51-33 Bulldogs lead. Sterling going to need a lot of baskets and need them fast. We're going to need that run that Dan was talking about if we want any bit of a game, and another steal for Narducci. Just too many turnovers for the Knights today.
And that's not how you start a run off.
So here's Roddy, finds Narducci. Was questionable to come into this game and has made a major impact. Even in that first half, had 14 points, and then Matt Morris kind of took over the show in the third quarter. A running and cutting Narducci, layup off the mark. Rolfing's there to clean it up.
And Haddonfield has done a great job of communicating the cuts, communicating what kind of switches that they want, and they've gotten them and have capitalized on the matchups. And there was a great cut there from Narducci. Just a really good heads-up play.
Johnson fires up a three off the mark. It's a 20-point Bulldog lead. So as we mentioned, Sterling really struggles in the second half of games. Morris, way too much space. And another three there for Matthew Morris. Just too many open guys on the perimeter for the Knights all night tonight.
I got to say, I don't understand how he gets that open. He flies right down the court and he sits right there and waits for it. I mean, you got to pick him up eventually.
Here's Camardo looking around. He's on Rolfing. Now Garrison. Patrick Ryan has done a nice job on Walter Garrison all night tonight for the Bulldogs. Johnson, nice behind the back, into the lane, fouled. Crafty handle from Julian Johnson there as he'll go to the line.
I will give my flowers to Haddonfield here. They are an amazing team. But as Jake was saying earlier, they have scored over 90 points 2 times this season. They are one hell of a team.
They are 8-0 this year. Last year they were 25-6. Their biggest loss of the year coming to the Sterling Knights. Obviously, doesn't look like we'll be able to play spoiler here tonight. Last game was a win against Paulsboro, 43-25.
Something to say about these two teams, though, the past couple of years, ever since I was a freshman here, I'm now a junior, whoever has realistically won the regular season matchups have lost in the playoffs. Last year, Haddonfield won the regular season matchup, lost in the playoffs. The year before, Sterling won the regular season, lost in the playoffs. So you never know what can happen when these two teams see each other, and it'll be interesting to see how this rivalry goes on for the rest of the season.
Well, and Haddonfield is a very senior-heavy team, starting 5 seniors and having 3 coming off the bench. As a shot was no good there from Narducci. Here's Johnson. Johnson looking for a screen, gets one from Borsch. Johnson drives inside, swatted away by Ryan. Now driving in is Morris. Morris leaves it short. Narducci, second chance points for the Bulldogs, and they've done a great job on the offensive glass.
And just like that, I think it's safe to say that Haddonfield has completely pulled away from Sterling.
Ball bounced around now, Bethea. And guys, when we look at the Sterling team, they obviously lost their biggest 2 players in C.J. Mundell and Jadis McFadden. So this Sterling team is really trying to look and rebound for somebody to go toe-to-toe with those Haddonfields. We saw it a lot last year as a foul there on Walter Garrison will send Matthew Morris to the line, and he's had a tremendous second half.
Despite what the scoreboard shows, the Knights were able to keep this game close for a while, but Haddonfield's offense finally really woke up and was able to keep on cooking and keep on going, while the Knights sort of sputtered and got a bunch of unlucky bounces and unlucky shots.
And it's unfortunate, but, I mean, this Knights team, man, they are so much fun to watch. There's so many electric plays. Even when they're down, they're never really out. And, I mean, they did a great job tonight. It's just unfortunate, man. There were a lot of open people, a lot of unlucky bounces, a couple missed calls. And you know it's going to happen to you.
He missed his first free throw, so now Matthew Morris not at 100% anymore from the charity stripe on the season. Third free throw is up and good. So only 1 miss on the season. That came at that trip to the line for Matthew Morris, who's been astounding for the Bulldogs in that second half. Ball goes out of play. And, guys, one thing about Coach Behringer and this Knights team is this brotherhood will never quit. The effort is something that you never have to question with this team. And, obviously, we knew they had a tough task coming into this game, going against an undefeated team, a rival on the road. And as Ben mentioned, they were in this game for quite some time.
And it's just important. And, I mean, throughout the season, teams develop. They gain even more chemistry. I've said that word maybe 100 times tonight. And they get better as a team, as a brotherhood, as a family. And this Sterling team is always together, always has each other's back. And, I mean, they're not going to go down like this. This may have been a really tough loss, but, man, Coach Behringer runs a well-oiled machine, and we're going to expect him in a really good spot come the next month or 2.
A thing of note here, Julian Tummings has been subbed into the game. He had a very good game on JV today earlier, as we were saying up.
Yes, he did. One of the guys that plays both on junior varsity and varsity, as the second free throw from Bethea is no good. So here is Mike Douglas, who was also one of the stars in the JV game for the Bulldogs.
Again, I said this before earlier. This Knights team, if it has anything, it's heart.
Absolutely, and now Walter Garrison driving into the lane is fouled. And it looks like it's going to be an offensive foul there on Walter Garrison. Haddonfield bench and the Rowdy gang are loving that one.
And
from Zach Langen taking the charge.
The student section at Sterling looks livid. They are angry at that call.
And some of these calls, especially on Walter, they've just been so close. And I mean, like, that one was one of them. The one as Haddonfield was breaking it up the court, Walter was breaking up the court, and Haddonfield, bumped him, and he got the call for it. It's just been such a weird half for him, and he's been in a bit of foul trouble.
3 is up and nothing but air there for Ryan Gavayan as now we are under the 2-minute mark. Bethea drives inside, is fouled. Score with the Haddonfield lead of 60-35.
A minute and 50 left, in the fourth quarter. Your team's down by, 25? And Sterling's still shouting air ball after that ball caught nothing but air. Very funny from the student section.
These fans don't go down without a bit of a fight.
And the hatred between the Sterling Superfans and the Haddonfield Rowdy gang is something that, as Dan mentioned, is the typical hatred in a rivalry matchup. When we look at the local pro sports teams, the way that Eagles fans and Dallas Cowboys fans don't like one another, the way that Sixers fans don't like Celtics fans and Celtics fans don't like Sixers fans, is the way that the Sterling Superfans and the Haddonfield Rowdy gang act towards and against one another, as there's an and one opportunity for Azir Bethea.
Sophomore with a really tough basket there, a way to cut in through the middle and just make a really nice layup.
He's been to the line a few times in the past couple of minutes. And one thing I want to say about this rivalry, it is very evenly matched over the years. Dan was talking about it earlier. They take some of the regular season games, and then the other team wins in the postseason.
3 is up from Douglas, and good. Mike Douglas from beyond the arc, the 6'3" sophomore guard. Haddonfield refusing to take their foot off the gas, and that's one of these things that you'll expect in rivalry matchups, is try and run up the score a little bit and leave a bad taste in your rival's mouth. But what I will say is for Coach Paul Wiedemann to try and be careful about that, because the Bulldogs come to our place the next time at home, and Sterling at home is a different environment with the Superfans. If you thought a good crowd was on hand today, imagine at home at the Castle what that environment is going to be like, guys.
And not only that, we will not have a one-camera shoot, which is wonderful. We'll be back with the guys.
Camera shoot produced by the one and only Mr. K. Of course, I don't mind being producer as well, but This is much more fun, by the way. Being an announcer and a cameraman at the same time, it gets you more involved in the game, keeps you more focused.
So Gavayan's first free throw was good. And the 6'1" freshman can't convert on his second free throw. Was last touched by Feinstein.
And ever since the Knights have sort of stalled out in the last few minutes of this quarter, the student section has emptied out a little bit, but the Knights faithful are still here for the most part.
Tummings spins, drives inside, pull up is no good. Rebound Holloway. Marquise Holloway, second chance points, no good. And another thing that Haddonfield has done very well tonight was offensive rebounding and second chance points. And so now the Bulldogs looking to just pass this one around as 30 seconds remain. Swatted away by Tummings as 30.2 ticks are left on the clock.
And Haddonfield singing their goodbye song, but Rolfing took so much energy from the Knights in the middle, and he contracted so much pressure that so much from beyond the arc was open for Haddonfield.
Speaking of beyond the arc, Phil McFillin cashes in on a 3, and Holloway looking to try and get a basket there. Fouled hard with 12.2 seconds left. 67-39. The Bulldogs lead this one. And both teams are playing to the final whistle right now. In a regular game, in a non-rivalry, non-conference matchup, you usually just look to try and dribble these things out with the deficit that Sterling is facing. But right now they're playing and they refuse to quit. They're just not afraid to be great out there no matter the score.
There's a bit of an incentive here to change that 3 on the board to a 4. makes the loss look a bit less intense.
And it is Sterling ball with 9.9 seconds. Holloway unable to convert on either of his free throws at the line. And a turnover there for Brandon Allison. They're going to get the ball up to McFillin. And Coach Paul Wiedemann with the class act to just dribble this one out as the Knights fall and the Bulldogs remain perfect. Haddonfield moves to 9-0 as Sterling drops this one to the Bulldogs 67-39.
There's something about games like this that fuel rivalry. Losses like this fuel the rivalry. There's a reason these teams don't like each other. There's a reason that games like this are so intense like they were earlier. These games mean so much to both teams because of how much they value destroying their opponent on the other side of the ball.
And it's so impressive. Both student sections really came out. I mean, a lot of the Sterling super fans took Paco over here, the $1.50 ticket. We came out here to broadcast this game. We knew this one would be good, and it was. Unfortunate loss for the Knights. They're talented, and they get losses out of their head quick, and that's something that's really good about this team. And so that'll be it for them.
So the Knights fall to 4-3 with a tough loss to the Bulldogs, 67-39. I'm Jake Clark, joined by Dan Leakan. Ben Nicholas was working behind the camera and on the headset. That's going to do it for us here at Sterling Channel 19. Have a great day, and as always, go Knights.